Hey guys, so today's video is going to be another one of my hits and misses kind of videos where I talk about all new products, like newly released makeup that I have been testing out, and I'm here to give you my opinion on them. I feel like I've tested out these products quite a few times. There's only one product that I've only tested out twice, and it's what's on my eyes right now. But besides that, I feel like I've given everything a fair shot. I did film like little clips of me applying some of these things because I know you guys wanted to see like the application process on some of these products, so that is what I did. Not for everything though, because I got one face. Also, yes, I'm getting sick. Did you see that coming? I just recently got back from Canada and from New York, and I'm actually leaving again in a couple days, but I guess the weather change and all of that, it was really cold in Canada. It was the first time I had ever seen snow. It was on the ground and it was really hard, but it was the first time I had ever seen it, and I was so excited. I felt like I was in Home Alone. Like the movie? I don't know, it was amazing, but I guess the weather change is making me a little nasally, a little stuffy. But anyway, I took some of these products with me when I was traveling, and it's all just really random, just new releases. Okay, I have a lot of stuff, so I'm just gonna go. So I have been testing out a lot of eyeshadow palettes recently. The first palette I want to talk about is the Kickin W palette. This is in collaboration with Mario. I don't get KKW PR. I think I did in the beginning, like when she first launched the brand, but I don't anymore, and I really wanted to test this eyeshadow palette out for you guys, so I purchased it and I have been using it. The formula is really good. Everything is buttery and smooth, and I actually do like the color selection. If you're a neutrals girl, you will really like this. You have so many amazing neutral shades. There's only one pop of color. This blue shade is all the rage these days. Everybody's wearing it all over their eyes, and I love it. I love blue eyeshadow. So I did find myself enjoying this palette while I used it, but with that being said, I think I have other eyeshadow palettes in my collection I get more uses out of. It's $45 for 10 shades, so it's not terrible at all. Actually, when you break it down, it's not that bad, but I don't know if this is worth it to like immediately run out and purchase it right away. I think you can definitely find these shades in some other palettes you might have at home. If you don't have that many palettes and you've been interested in it, I say go for it because it blends well, the formula is really nice, everything is nice and pigmented, and I also really like this packaging. It's just so sleek and just simple. I love simple, sleek packaging, so it's pretty good. I do like it. I'm just not blown away by it is all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? This palette, however, I mean, it's a completely different type of palette, but it's amazing. If you're into colors, if you're just completely over the whole neutral trend, like every palette is so neutral, I'm done, I'm over it. It's the BH Cosmetics Weekend Festival 20 color eyeshadow palette, and at first when I got this in PR, I was like, oh, you know, this looks really cool, but I didn't think the colors were gonna be as vibrant as they were. I've used this about 4 times, and every time I did a look with it, I loved how it looked. I mean, I did dabble into other palettes when I was using this, but it's such a nice companion palette. Like if you do have a neutral palette and you want a palette that's gonna give you a lot of pops of color, this is perfect because it's affordable and it's so pigmented and just so good. I even spoke about a BH Cosmetics palette last time I made this kind of video. I'm like really impressed with BH Cosmetics recently. I don't know. I did a look the other day where I used Candy and Trixie like on my lid, this really beautiful peachy shade like all over my lid, and it looked so nice. Let me know if you want me to do like a full peachy look because I have like a look in mind. I did it the other day and it looked really pretty, but I don't know if it's just like too basic and like too boring, but it was such a pretty like dewy spring look. But anyway, if you've been looking into this palette, I say go for it. It's only $18. Like, that's a steal. I don't know if it's limited edition or not. It kind of looks like it would be, but really good. Okay, another major hit. This is the palette I was talking about. It's on my eyes right now. I've only used this twice, but I know Colourpop so well. I know how their formulas work, and I knew I was gonna love this as much as I do. This is so freaking good. This is Colourpop's newest collaboration. They did a palette with Makeup Shayla. I love the packaging. It's so cool. It's called the Perception palette, and I love that you get like an extra row of eyeshadows in this palette. You also get a mirror, which is nice, but the color selection is what I love the most about this palette. I think Shayla did such a good job of bringing you something that was wearable, but also colorful at the same time. The shades I mainly used were Culture, Revenge, Played Out Shade, and IE, and it kind of created this really pretty grungy, dirty, olive green, smoky eye. You can get so many different looks with this though. You have some purples, some blues, golds, grays, like you have a lot of options in this palette, which I really, really love. And I also really loved her entire collection. She came out with 3 luxe lipsticks and 2 loose powder highlighters. These are a little bit too deep for my skin tone, but you can also use these as like loose eyeshadows as well. You wet them a little bit and they apply to the lids like really intensely and beautifully. I think it releases either this Friday coming up or Wednesday when I post this. I'm not sure. Oh, I forgot to mention these. Okay, this also was part of like the whole festival collection with BH Cosmetics. Oops, I'm like rewinding here. They came out with a palette, some brushes, and they even came out with these little eyelights, and I wanted to talk about these really quick. Okay, so the brushes, these feel amazing. First of all, they're hot pink, which is gorgeous, but the handles are soft touch, so they have like that rubberized feeling, and I love that, like NARS packaging. I live for that. I washed them before filming this video because I wanted to see how they would wash, and they wash perfectly fine. I didn't have any hair fallout or anything like that, but they are just a little bit like stiff for me. The actual brushes, like this one, I don't really like. I tried to contour with this. I tried to apply blush with this. I don't really love this brush. The only ones that I really liked and I think are totally worth it is this one for sure. The #1 brush. This applies bronzer so nicely, and I also really like these brushes as well. This is the only one that I was like, I didn't really like that brush. The #8, not my favorite, but these 3 I do like. #5, #7, and #10, I do find these to be so useful. This is such a skinny, tiny little eyeliner brush, perfect for gel liner, really great eye brushes. It's just that a couple of these were like a little stiff and not my favorite. As for these eyelights, at first when I tried them out, I thought they were gonna be really similar to the Stila Magnificent Metal kind of liquid shadows or the Supernova shadows from Colourpop, but they are a little bit different. They're a little bit waterier, they're not as powerful. I'm trying to think of the word. You know how sometimes the Colourpop ones, if you layer them too much or if you apply too much, it can get a little bit hard. I mean, they pack a punch, but it can be a little bit drying and stiff. These are actually not drying whatsoever. They're very comfortable on the eyelid. If you don't like Supernova shadows, you might really like these. The only thing is you have to build these up. Because they're a little bit softer, you do have to apply like 2 to 3 layers to get super full opaque like amazingness, but it's doable. Once you learn how to work with them a little bit, they are really gorgeous. And these 3 are my absolute favorites. The yellow is called Fresh, the reddish copper yellow is called GalPal, and this blue purple is Chill Pill, and they are stunning. You guys know I was always a fan of the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores pressed powder, but then I discovered my Kat Von D airbrush press powder. I don't know the name of it, but it's an amazing press powder that totally replaced my Bye Bye Pores one. I like it way more. Got rid of my IT Cosmetics one, but they recently came out with a Bye Bye Pores bronzer, and I got really excited when I saw this because I thought, okay, that might be a great idea because you don't really see pore diffusing bronzers on the market. I actually really like this bronzer. I think it applies it so smoothly and like flawlessly. I guess because it has that blurring technology, it really just applies like butter on the skin, and I like that it has a little bit of a sheen to it. You guys know I love my sheeny type of bronzers, but it's not shimmery. It just has kind of like a natural glow to it. This is one that I really like. I hate the whole packaging on the pores things because, you know, there's always like a little brush in here that I never use, but formula wise, this is really good. I did contour my face with something else that I'm going to show you in a second, but I used mainly this bronzer all over my face, and I feel like it gives the skin such a nice warmth, like tan look. Perfect for vacations. This is the perfect summertime bronzer, and I like that it has that blurringness to it. Okay, so I'm gonna go a different direction here. Let's see, let's talk about lip gloss. Shimmery lip gloss, it's all the rage. Everybody's got some glitter in their gloss. It's just the way it is. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Shayla also came out with a lip gloss. It's just that it was sitting in my shimmery lip gloss category that I didn't notice. But she has a lip gloss part of the collection, and this is such a stunning lip gloss. It's called Neat Freak, which makes a lot of sense because she's a Virgo, and Virgos are neat freaks. Fun little fact. But it's such a pretty gloss, looks beautiful over any type of nude, any type of color really. And I feel like we've been seeing that a lot with brands. Girlactik actually just released these new lip pearls. I'm wearing this shade on top of the Shayla lipstick in Quickie. This one's called Diamonds, and the formula on these, it's so thin. I don't know how to explain it. They don't feel very glossy. Like obviously there's a gloss to them, like there's a glossiness to it, but it's a very thin gloss, and the shimmers in this are so thin. I have 3 layers on my lips right now, and I feel the grittiness just a little bit, but it's so subtle that it doesn't bother me at all. I really can only tell if I try to look for the grit. you know? These are not long wearing by any means. You will have to reapply throughout the day. It's something you're gonna have to throw in your purse and go, but I love the shimmery effect it gives your lips. Just gives that juicy vibe to the lips. All right, so I have two similar palettes to talk about. They're both face palettes. This is the Cali Contour Shape Bronze and Glow palette from Smashbox, and this is the Urban Decay Sin Afterglow palette. This is a highlighter and blush palette. So this one from Urban Decay comes with a mirror. It's really nice packaging. It kind of like feels a little boxy, but it's not bulky, so I'm okay with it. It has a mirror, and then you have kind of like a bronzer, a few blushes, and then you get like two highlights here at the bottom. I really like this palette. The only thing is I always found myself reaching for this one over this one. I think my favorite thing in this palette are the highlighters. They're very, very beautiful, but I'm not crazy about the blushes. Like, they didn't really last that long on my skin. I don't know, there was something about the formula that just didn't blow me away when it came to the blushes, and this one is also too deep for me, so I was really only using the highlights. I could totally see this working for someone, but for my preference and just like for me, I don't see myself reaching for this palette just to use the Sin highlighter or the Spotlight highlighter. You know what I mean? It's just not my favorite, but is the formula good? Yes. If you see yourself using these shades, yes, it's totally worth it because you get so many products in one. So this is like a, I don't know, product for me. But the Cali Contour has been something I have been using non-stop. I love the packaging on this. I think the packaging is a little bit nicer than the Urban Decay one. I mean, it just depends what you're into, but I like this type of packaging, and I like this mirror more. Mirrors are both great on both palettes, but for some reason I just like this mirror more. I don't know if it's because it doesn't have like the little boxed edges. I'm strange. I also like that this goes back all the way and you can grab your palette and apply it to your face like that. Actually, I've never tried putting this back. Oh no, you can't. Okay. I literally use every single shade except for this one. This highlight shade is just a little bit too deep for me, but I used it the other day as an eyeshadow and I loved it. I did like a one eyeshadow look and I loved it. So I find myself using every single shade. I use this one underneath the eyes. I don't set my concealer with it, but I like to brighten up my under eyes with this color. And when it comes to contouring, I do think this is a little bit too ashy for me to contour, and then this is just a little too warm. So I mix them both together and I love the contour it gives me. It is pretty intense. You have to use a light hand with this palette. I also love this blush. Like, I love this blush. It goes with so many different looks. It is gorgeous. And I also really love this highlight. When I first looked at that highlight, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like this. I have a feeling this is gonna be dusty and like powdery and not very highlighty at all. But once you apply it to the skin, it does highlight your face, but in a very natural way, which I'm totally into. I like that natural highlighted look. Oh, I love this freaking palette. I don't know what it is about it. I just love it so much. Okay, something I don't love. It's not for me. It's not, it might be for you, but it's not for me. These are the 3D brow tones from Benefit. They came out with so many different shades. They have copper, rich purple, deep teal, magenta, deep blue. They have so many, and I've tried out magenta and deep blue, and I just find them like, I don't think it does enough. I honestly feel like you have to go apply like 10 layers of this to your eyebrows to even get a magenta tone. It's too subtle in my opinion. Even this deep blue that you're like, wow, it's so nice and deep blue, it just doesn't show up that blue on your brows, and to me it's just a little bit pointless. Maybe it just didn't work for my brows. Maybe my brows are just like too dark, but those 3D brow tones, not my thing. Something that was my thing though was this. I freaking love this, and I like the mini one more because you guys know I do not like Benefit box blush packaging. I think these box blushes are so bulky, they just take up a lot of room, but Benefit just recently released this Gold Rush blush, and they came out with a mini as well. So they sent me the big one in PR with the mini, and I ended up giving away the big one to my friend, and I kept the mini one, but I love it. And you know what? I don't think the mini is too small. Look, perfect. Perfect. It perfectly fits in there, and I love this color. When you first get it, there is a gold overspray. I don't know why companies do that. Personally, it's not my thing, but it was kind of like this gold shimmer that was just laying on top. And I grabbed my brush and got rid of all that gold, and then I used it, and it is beautiful. This is a beautiful freaking blush because it is a peachy nude, but there's like a salmon undertone to it. There is a little bit of like a goldenness to it. I totally understand the name. Even without that shimmer on top, there's like a golden salmon peachiness to it that is so stunning. I have to say, out of all the Benefit boxed blushes I've tried, and I've tried all of them, I'm gonna say that Gold Rush is my favorite blush they've released. And the scent is amazing. It's the best scent they've ever done on a blush. All of their blushes smell a certain way. This is the best one. Okay, so we are almost done. We have just a few products. I know this video is so long. Forgive me. But LA Girl released a few Luminous products. 2 that I'm all about and 1 that I'm gonna pull my hair out because I despise the packaging so much, but I'll get into it in a second. So LA Girl came out with this Luminous Glow Skin Illuminator, and I've been testing these out quite a bit. I've been using the gold one way more than this one. This is Moonlight and this is Afterglow. Out of the 2, I like Afterglow a lot more. There's another shade, but it was too deep for me, so I gave it to Amelia. This is a very pretty liquid illuminator if you wanna mix it with your foundations without being too moisturizing. I find that this one isn't very hydrating. Like once you apply it to the skin, it kind of like sinks into the skin and you really don't feel it anymore. And at first that threw me off, but I found that I love mixing it with foundation. Like I have it today on my face mixed in with my Born This Way. I don't know if it's because this is like water and dimethicone. I just feel like it mixes really well with your foundation while still giving you that sheen and glow. And it's not too shimmery or too, like it's not too much. I don't know, I really like this. There's so many brands at the drugstore that are creating these types of products, and I feel like if you have oily skin, out of all of them, this one might be your favorite because I didn't find that it added too much tackiness or too much glow to my foundation. I did try it on its own and I don't like it on its own. Like on the top of the cheekbones, like I'm not feeling this product on its own, but mixed in, I really like it. This, however, they came out with the Luminous Glow Illuminating powders, and I don't know if they came out with a different shade. I think this is the only one that was sent to me, so I don't know. This is in the shade 24 karat or 24K, and this is the biggest packaging fail I've ever seen on a product. Like, okay, watch, ready, look at this. Do you see that? It's closed, and it is going everywhere. I don't know why I just did that because I got literally gold all over my phone. I have gold all over my coffee, my shirt. Like it's closed, right? Why is it spilling when it's closed? You know, honestly, I can't even try to enjoy that product because, oh my gosh, the dogs are gonna bark. Postman just got here. Every time I've tried to apply that to my face, I get that gold shimmer powder all over the place, all over my face, all over my body, my clothes. And is it just a packaging fail for me? Because I honestly can't imagine a brand coming up with this packaging, testing it out and being like, this is good, we're good, we're just gonna go approve it. It's not messy at all. It doesn't get anywhere at all, you know? So maybe it's just mine because this is the messiest loose powder I've ever dealt with, like in terms of any type of loose powder. The messiest. I have wiped my table with a wipe too many times. The Milk Makeup Kush Mascara. This just recently came out. First of all, the packaging is really awesome. Like it feels like titanium. Like, I don't know, it feels very, very heavy. Packaging on point. I know people were freaking out about this mascara, but this Kush mascara doesn't have like marijuana in it. It actually has CBD oil, which if you haven't done your research on CBD oil, it's actually amazing for anxiety. It does not get you high, by the way. And CBD oil is actually great not only for anxiety, but like for your skin. Supposedly, they're like using it a lot in makeup these days. It's like supposedly really great for your skin and all that. Anyway, there's CBD oil in this mascara, which is supposed to be like really good and conditioning for your lashes. And I did notice every time I used this mascara, I noticed immediately that it was just a softer mascara than I was used to. You know how certain mascaras, you apply them and your eyelashes are literally crunchy, like they're hard? That is not the case with this mascara. It leaves your lashes very conditioned, but it still gives them a nice amount of length. I wouldn't call this a volumizing mascara. I would say it's more of like a separating, lengthening mascara. Personally, for me, I like something a little bit more volumizing, something that's gonna look like really black and thick. That is what I go for in a mascara, but I still think this would be a great mascara for like day to day. It is a high-end mascara, so I'm a little bit more critical on high-end mascaras. Because of the price, I'm like, I don't know if it's worth it. It totally depends on you. Okay, so I did want to mention these. I just recently purchased them and I haven't really heard anybody talk about them, but they are new. I just got them on Ulta a couple weeks ago, and it is the Neutrogena Essential Cheek Palette and Essential Eye Palette, and I'm not a huge Neutrogena fan. For some reason, Neutrogena and Almay, when it comes to makeup, those two brands, I'm like, but the reason I purchased this is because it was like a collaboration with Kerry Washington, and I love Kerry Washington. If you watch Scandal, Olivia Pope, she's a bad bee. She's a bad bee. But I was a little bit let down. There isn't much pigment to these products. I don't know. This is the cheek palette, and the bronzer was nice, but the highlight was just really chunky, powdery, didn't really highlight anything, and then this blush was obviously for my skin tone just a little bit too intense. But I found that the formulas were so lackluster, like the pigmentation wasn't there for me. I do not like this eyeshadow palette. I feel like it would be nice for mature eyes if you're someone who's a little bit older and you want a very neutral palette, because for some reason I feel like these don't really accentuate texture. It's just, they look very, very similar. You're very limited to the look that you're gonna create. I don't know, I was just like super let down by both of these palettes. I was like, Neutrogena. Okay guys, so that completes this video. Now that we've been here for like 45 minutes, that completes this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. These were my thoughts and my mini reviews on all of these products, all this new recently released makeup. I would love to know your opinions on all of these products. Like if there's something I like that you don't like or vice versa, leave me a review down below. Or if there's any new products on the market you've been wanting me to try out, leave it in the comments below because I'll do that as well. But I hope you guys are enjoying this series. Leave me a big thumbs up if you want to see more of these types of videos. But anyway, that completes this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Why do I keep spilling? I'm just pissing myself off even more as I'm cleaning this. So you get a bronzer, So you get these are so bulky. Side note, my lightning bolt needs new batteries. I don't know if it's, leave me a review down below. I feel like I said that weird.